What are the best and worst neighborhoods in the city of Waterloo? Well, in today's video, we're going to go over it, and I'm going to show you exactly the best and, unfortunately, the worst neighborhoods in Waterloo. Before we get into the best neighborhoods here in the city of Waterloo, let's quickly go over the western side of Waterloo and the eastern side of Waterloo and show you exactly where the delineation mark is between the two sides. If you take a look here, King Street North would be the delineation line, which starts at the beginning of Kitchener and works its way up through King Street North all the way to the northern end of Waterloo. Now, in this particular video, we do not have to pay attention to this area right here, as the northern end of Waterloo, primarily industrial. There are no neighborhoods in this area whatsoever. So this is East Waterloo, and this is West Waterloo. Now let's take a look at some of the best neighborhoods in Waterloo. We're going to work our way from the western side to the eastern side. Starting off with Vista Hills. Now Vista Hills is an absolutely fantastic neighborhood. It's brand new. In fact, there aren't many resales happening in this area, and they're still building at this time. So if you are looking for new construction, Vista Hills is an excellent neighborhood. Very, very popular, in fact, and they have a great school to go with it, which is Vista Hills Public School. In this neighborhood, you're going to find larger townhouses and, frankly, larger detached homes as well. And a lot of green space too, right? You have a lot of trails here in this area just east of the city. Tons of trails and tons of green space on this side, which this here is Westmount Township. This no longer is the city of Waterloo. So this is Vista Hills right here, brand new. The only problem with this neighborhood I see is the fact that there were no entrances or exits onto Westmount Township. Now you're saying, well, that's not a problem. I can just stay in the city of Waterloo, which is fine, but you have to be cognizant of the very fact there's only 3 exits right now, and I don't believe there'll be any more entering this particular subdivision. So there's going to be a lot of driving within this subdivision in order to get to outside amenities, like you do have Costco here, as well as Starbucks, Canadian Tire, and then you do have some shopping here on the eastern side. So there's one entrance and exit, one here, Keats Way, and one to Columbia Street, which segments Herbsville Road. Tons of shopping here in the south, but you have to be cognizant of, if you are living here on the northern bound, you're gonna have to drive potentially 5 to 10 minutes in order to get to Costco. It's something to be cognizant of, because the township of Westmount will not let anyone build a road connecting to Waterloo. As you can see here on the screen, they would just won't allow it. It's this is not a road right here. Not a public road, not for public access. So yeah, that's one thing to be cognizant of. Other than that, Vista Hills is absolutely fantastic if you are looking for new construction. What can you get in this subdivision? Well, I'll pull up a great example right now. This home sold recently for just over $1.1 million. It's just over 2,200 square feet, and it's also built in the year 2018. It's nearly new, and that's kind of what you're looking at in this neighborhood. This is your typical home in the area of Vista Hills. Moving on to the next neighborhood, this is going to be Laurelwood. Now, Laurelwood is probably one of my favorites here in Waterloo. Reason being is you have tons of nature within this area, tons of forestry, tons of trails. If you're somebody that likes the outdoors, Laurelwood is excellent. And a matter of fact, are the best schools within Waterloo region in the public sector is in fact in Laurelwood. That is Abraham Erb Public School, as well as Laurelwood Public School. As well, in addition to that, you're also close to the University of Waterloo and, of course, Laurier University. Now, homes in this area are typically built in the 90s and early 2000s, and here you will find detached as well as townhouses. Some of the recent homes that have been sold, like this one, for instance, sold just over $680,000. It has over 1,400 square feet and was built in 1995. That's on the lower end of this neighborhood. If you're looking at the upper end of this neighborhood, you're looking at something like this, which sold for $1.32 million. It has 3,200 square feet above grade, built in 2003, double car garage, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and fairly well done inside and almost totally up to date. There might be a few little things, but on the whole, very well done. Shows very well this particular listing. Now going to the next neighborhood you should be cognizant of and really take into account, a great neighborhood. This is Beechwood. Now, Beechwood is almost famous at this point. It's quite a beautiful neighborhood, in fact, and I want to segment it into kind of 3 because it's such a large neighborhood, as you can see on the map here. As Beechwood is really broken into 3 parts. I would consider this right here on the northeastern side. This would be the traditional Beechwood. This would be called Upper Beechwood on this side. Here would be West Beechwood. And what you're going to find in this area are some of the most expensive homes within the Waterloo region. You're going to find a lot of old money in this neighborhood. Primarily, most of the homes built within this area were in fact built in the mid to late 70s, all the way up to the year 2000, depending where you are. If you look here at Beechwood itself, which is this area right here, most homes in here will be built in the late 70s to early 80s. Absolutely fantastic, beautiful, some of the most expensive homes within Waterloo, and in fact the Waterloo region, are within this area here. And one in particular that I want to highlight, which sold recently for just over $907,000. This is a great example of this neighborhood in the fact that it varies quite a bit. Now, this is on the absolute lower end here. This home has 4 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, nearly 2,000 square feet above grade, built in 1978. Pretty much original inside, but what you're getting in this neighborhood is absolutely beautiful. You're close to the University of Waterloo. You have tons of great greenery. There's a lot of money within this neighborhood, and you can really see it if you are driving within there. Now, looking at West Beechwood in this area right here, this is going to be a bit newer, in fact, and there's going to be more townhouses within this area. Now, if you're looking to get into a townhouse, a condo townhouse in this particular neighborhood, one recently sold for $595,000, and what you're getting here is 1,100 square feet above grade, built in the year 1990, with lower condo fees of about $305 per month. Now, there's one area that you have to be cognizant of that's a little bit different from the rest, and it's in fact this area right here. It's quite different from the rest of Beechwood. It's a little bit lower end, but of course it's not going to be one of the worst neighborhoods in Waterloo, but it's definitely different from what you're seeing on the northern bounds of the Beechwood area here. Hi, my name is Kevin Amorm with Remax Real Estate Center, and I get calls all the time about people wanting to relocate here to the Waterloo region. And if you want to relocate here, I would be more than happy to help you. You can book a call with me in the first link in the description, or call, text, or email. Now, moving on to the next best neighborhood in Waterloo is in fact Westmount. And Westmount is an absolute beauty. And in fact, probably one of my favorites within the Waterloo region. Definitely my favorite within Waterloo. Maybe Beechwood would beat out Westmount. But Westmount is basically this area here on the screen, which includes both the city of Kitchener and the city of Waterloo. Now, this neighborhood has, in fact, a lot of old money. A lot of the early immigrants to the city, a lot of them have reside here. They bought property in this area, multi-million-dollar homes in this area, anywhere from $1 million up to $5 million, in fact, especially the ones that are located around Westmount Golf Club. And the great thing about this neighborhood is you're close to the highway, and you're, in fact, very close to uptown Waterloo as well. Now, that is absolutely beneficial. It's a great short walking distance to uptown Waterloo, and it's a great thing to have, in fact, that you don't have to necessarily own a car in this neighborhood. If you do have children and they want to go to uptown Waterloo, it's a walking distance from Westmount, which you can't really find in many other areas of Waterloo, is that short walking distance to the uptown. Now, the homes in this neighborhood vary wildly in terms of year of construction and the types of builds. Some of these will be teardowns and in fact new construction, custom built homes that people have built over the years. Some will be from the 60s, the 70s, some will even be from the Victorian era. Now, one that sold recently here, which is closer to Uptown Waterloo, is in fact this home right here, which sold for nearly $1.1 million. It's just over 1,300 square feet, but it was done absolutely impeccably. The renovation work was absolutely brilliant, beautifully done, great backyard. It really almost seems like one of those houses you would see in old downtown Toronto neighborhood, kind of that aesthetic, that vibe they're going for there. So maybe the young professional that are starting out their career, definitely this neighborhood is for you. If you're looking to have a family, if you're looking to live that kind of lifestyle where you're not quite in a condo yet, but you don't want to live on the outskirts of the city, definitely Westmount is an excellent option. Now, we've looked at quite a few expensive neighborhoods within the city of Waterloo, and in fact, most neighborhoods within Waterloo are absolutely fantastic. So let's look at something that's a little bit better in terms of the wallet, and that is in fact what's known as Colonial Acres, which is located here on the eastern side of the city. This neighborhood is absolutely fantastic as you have easy access to the expressway with this entrance and exit and this entrance and exit as well. And a great thing about this neighborhood is it's somewhat entry level. You're close to the highway, you're close to Conestoga Mall, and you're going to find a wide variety of homes. You're going to find bungalows, side splits, back splits, 2-story, 3-story, everything that you can possibly think of. It's a great family-friendly neighborhood, and houses in this area range anywhere from $700,000 to about $1.2 million, depending on the build and size. Now, one that sold in particular recently, which I thought was a pretty good deal, was this home right here, which sold for $790,000. Double car garage, nearly 1,600 square feet above grade, and of course, being a bungalow, you're going to get an additional 1,500 square feet on the bottom because you have to take into account the utility room. So this was an excellent buy on a beautiful pie lot for $790,000. Now, kind of towards the higher end of that neighborhood, there was another great deal that I thought was excellent, beautiful, and that was this property right here, which sold for just over $1 million. Built in 1989 with nearly 2,400 square feet above grade, of course, this being a 2-story. Absolutely beautiful, double car garage, and I think it's a great investment. Now, in regards to the worst neighborhoods in Waterloo, well, there really isn't many. There's a few, and I'll quickly go over them. They're more like small little pockets where, you might not want to buy there, but they're still incredibly safe. And if you have watched my video about the city of Kitchener and my favorite neighborhoods and the worst neighborhoods to live in the city, you will find that the worst neighborhoods in Kitchener are far worse than the worst neighborhoods in Waterloo. In fact, much safer, even though both cities are incredibly safe. Now, the first one we'll have to be cognizant of is located kind of in the north central region of the city, and that is going to be here in Sunnydale. Now, Sunnydale is a small little pocket here that really there isn't many people living here. It's a little bit lower on the socioeconomic status, and that is this pocket right here. Nothing particular wrong with it. Would I buy there? Yeah, in fact, I probably would buy there. It's still fairly safe. Waterloo is not London, Ontario. London, Ontario, in fact, it's not the greatest city. There are quite a few places in London where I would, in fact, never buy or frankly never go to, and Waterloo, on the whole, is definitely a great city. There isn't that big of a gap in between neighborhoods, but one in particular is definitely Sunnydale. Not the best neighborhood, but I would still buy there. Now, the second neighborhood you should be cognizant of is here, this little pocket, Rummelhardt. I believe I'm pronouncing this correctly, and it's kind of this little pocket here. It's not bad though whatsoever. I would buy, it's better than Sunnydale, but I would definitely buy in this particular neighborhood. We're on the western side of the city at this point, and yeah, it's just this little area of homes right here. Super small little area. And if I zoom out here, as you can see, it's a super tiny little area. There isn't really too many bad neighborhoods within Waterloo. They're all fairly good. I hope you enjoyed this video. You got a lot of great value from it. And if you did, click the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.